So recently I finally got into season 1 of Stranger Things, and yes, I know I'm late as hell, but for some reason I thought about some fictional deaths, specifically the deaths of fictional characters that absolutely haunted me, and I decided I wanted to talk about that, so I'm going to. So make sure you grab your popcorn, make sure you leave a like, make sure you do all that jazz, and let's just get into it.
What is he hiding?
And in my opinion, there's no worse death in fiction than Arthur Morgan. And I'm gonna keep it a buck, while playing RDR2, I was mesmerized by the storytelling, the cutscenes, everything else in the story, and I didn't realize that the end was near. Because during the A Fork in the Road mission in Saint Denis, Arthur Morgan out of nowhere collapses and is taken to a doctor, and it's revealed that Arthur Morgan's got tuberculosis. And I find it funny that the doctor smokes after he tells Arthur he has tuberculosis, like, it's kind of ironic. Anyways, you're probably wondering, how did Arthur Morgan get tuberculosis? Well, it was all because of this man right here, Ricky. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. Anyways, Arthur in his final moments could make a grown man cry. Like, just reading this script has my eyes a little watery, yo. Who's cutting the onions?
I was alive.
Now, Walter White's death left a mark, I'm not gonna lie. It was like watching a kid grow up from a struggling drug dealer to a literal drug kingpin. Now, his death really didn't shock me because it had to happen, but one of my favorite TV shows ending just did not sit right with me. It was like a big void I had to fill. And what made it worse is that the final episode was absolute cinema. So Walter returns to Albuquerque after being in hiding in New Hampshire, and the first order of business was to make sure his children was good, in the most twisted way possible. And then the next order of business was the real deal, that M60 machine gun hidden in his trunk, and that thing absolutely erased everything in that compound, including Walter White. He was basically like, if I'm going out, I'm taking everyone with me. Except you, Jesse, you get to live, you deserve it, kid. And then in that final moment where he walked through the meth lab, the place that gave him a sense of identity, runs his hand over the equipment one last time, collapses, and that was it. No speech, no music cue begging you to cry, just the end. Man, this episode is morbid. My bad, y'all. Now, Glenn's death was simply brutal. Like, on some real shit, when I watched this scene, I was actually fucked up for a couple days. They did a great job with that. Now, it's not because I didn't think he couldn't die in The Walking Dead, but Glenn felt like a character who was supposed to make it. You watch him grow up from an awkward kid just trying to survive into one of the most dependable people in the group. Like, from the moment when he first appeared on television, he was already goated. I remember watching this scene just hyped as hell, like he really came in clutch, but his time would run out because of this man right here. By the time Negan shows up, Rick and his group had already been on the road. They had beaten Terminus, the Governor, cannibals, walkers, everything. You put anything in Rick's group's way, they were clearing it out. So when they hear about the Saviors, they treat it like just another problem to solve. They agree to wipe out a Savior outpost in exchange for supplies, and they do it brutally, killing people in their sleep. From their perspective, it's survival, but from Negan's perspective, it was a massacre. And that's what leads to the lineup. By taking out Abraham, he sent the first message, and then by taking out Glenn, he was just trying to punish at that point. And from that day forward, The Walking Dead never felt the same. Damn. I could not make a video like this and not include Tony Stark. I can just remember me, a young Kino, seeing him on the first ever Avengers movie cover and being so amazed with Iron Man. And he was an absolute dog in every movie. Like, I watched Avengers Endgame on a pirated website, and the moment when Tony Stark somehow stole the Infinity Stones from Thanos and snapped his finger, yo, I ain't gonna lie, I was hyped. But unfortunately, it was the day he and the MCU died. For me, at least. But it was a great run. From the start, Tony was portrayed as an arrogant billionaire playboy philanthropist, and to see him die that heroically, it was top tier. And honestly, I cannot see Robert Downey Jr. in anything other than Tony Stark. I'm sorry, Dr. Doom. You're just Tony Stark to me. You're just Tony Doom. Yeah, this one hurts. I'm not gonna lie, this one just stings a little bit. Like, all throughout God of War, we built a relationship with Brock and Sindri, and everything was going so good, like these were our guys. Until Odin showed up and ruined everything. And shout out to the game developers, because up to this point, I thought Odin was Tyr the entire time. Like, there was no signs that he was Odin to me. But that's where he got me. Like I said, up to this point, Odin went undetected, and we all thought this was Tyr. But Brock was a little smarter than that. Some of his words didn't add up, and Brock started questioning him a little bit until Odin lost his cool, blew his entire operation, killing Brock in the process. And when I tell you I couldn't believe Odin not only fooled me, but killed one of my favorite characters, oh yeah, I couldn't wait until Kratos fried him. And what makes it hurt just a little bit more is that Brock was already dead prior to this happening. Sindri was so distraught that he went back and brought like 3 out of his 4 souls back, but his brother was back. That didn't matter to him, just for his brother to be gone again.
I can feel it on you.
Now, John Coffey's death doesn't really hurt much for me
man.
because I've never really watched The Green Mile before. But before you click off the video, people say that this death hurts them a lot, so I'm just gonna put it in the video. So John Coffey was introduced as a massive man on death row, and he was accused of killing 2 little girls, and at first it seems like what the system said he is, he was. That was kind of a weird way to say it. But as The Green Mile goes on, it's clear that John is innocent and he has the ability to heal people by taking their pain into himself. That has to be the most exhausting power of all time. So the guards and Paul realize that they are watching someone who was genuinely good, someone who never should have been there at all. And when the execution finally happens, everyone knows it was wrong. And that is what makes it hurt for some people. John doesn't fight it because he is exhausted and in the end dies from the electric chair.
She gave it.
Herschel Green was first introduced in The Walking Dead. I think it was like season 4, something like that. I didn't think he was going to be that important of a character, but going forward, he became that important of a character. Which is why his death, I'm not going to lie, not only devastated me, but shocked me because there was no way my boy Herschel had to go, man. So the prison comes under attack. Everything turns chaotic at once. Walkers flood in, gunfire is everywhere, and the group is scattered trying to survive. Herschel gets injured and is captured by the governor's group, and this was probably the worst possible situation possible. It's either Rick gives up the prison or Herschel, a very important person, is cooked. Herschel gets sliced, and I'm not gonna lie, I was truly shocked watching this. I was like, yo, what the fuck? The governor was still such a greatly written villain, but we had to get our get back. That felt great, I'm not gonna lie.
Classified information.
Looking back on El Laliyet from the very first time I watched Death Note, and his death definitely stung. I just didn't know it in the moment. Especially because I wanted Light to win so bad, I didn't really care about El. But as I've gotten older and more mature, I'm definitely thinking El should have won, I'm not gonna lie. Like, bro, he got replaced with Nier, and Nier beat Light. Like, no, I'm still not over it to this day. Like, my dog El knew it was over. I still think Light should have won, though.
I knew it, yeah.
Next up, we have Gwen Stacy, specifically the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Gwen Stacy, because she was doing something bad to me, and her death was crazy. Like, she went out bad. I had to put her in the video. So during the fight with Electro, Peter does what he always does and tries to save everyone. And before we move any further, like, this is incredible strength by Gwen Stacy to hold on to the web with one hand. Yo, her arm strength has to be insane. Anyways, that's when the gears malfunction, causing the web to be cut, sending Gwen to a death fall, and this is where we get, in my opinion, the best scene in any Spider-Man movie. Peter's desperately trying to catch up to her, and even the web Peter shoots out, it's like a little hand. It's kind of cute. And one thing I like about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is that this movie was super realistic. In most movies, somehow the person will be saved, but here the momentum was too strong and the web snapped her back, and it was just all bad. My boy Peter was devastated, and I'm not gonna lie, I would be too. Imagine the survivor's guilt Peter had. I would be fighting demons. So I'm playing The Last of Us Part 2, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful experience. Like, the game is actually genuinely fire. The visuals, the combat, the tension, everything feels so polished. I'm locked in. I'm thinking, yeah, this is one of those games. And then out of nowhere, during what feels like a regular mission, we run into Abby's group, and nothing feels off at first. And then boom, Joel Miller gets his leg blown out. I remember just sitting there like, wait, yo, are they actually doing this right now? And then it keeps going. The golf club, the silence, Ellie screaming, no music, no heroic speech, just brutal, awkward, uncomfortable violence. And I think I know that's what messed me up the most. Joel doesn't go out saving the world. He doesn't get a final monologue. He just dies, and you're forced to watch it the same way Ellie is. It felt wrong, but in a weird way, it was real. Like, the game was telling you, yeah, this world does not care how important you think someone is. Like, I didn't even hate the game after that. I was just empty. Like, from the moment on, everything felt different. Every fight, every step, like, every decision was fueled by that one scene. Joel's death wasn't there to be cool or cinematic, it was there to hurt you, and the developers did exactly what they were planning to do. They hurt you. And whether you loved it or hated it, that moment is burned into your brain forever, man. Before I end the video, I have to throw in some honorable mentions because it's a Kino production. Of course, I need to. It's what we do. First though, we're gonna start off with Ned Stark. Now, in season 1, he was the main character. He had honor, morals, like a true protagonist. And then his head was gone from his shoulders. That was the exact moment the Game of Thrones told everyone that this story does not care about what you expect. And next we have Logan, man. This movie truly, genuinely was sad. Seeing Wolverine old, tired, and bleeding just felt illegal. Like, I thought he had regenerative powers. Or maybe I just lost the plot. But anyways, it was just crazy to see. And next we have Light Yagami, man. I had to throw my boy Light in the video. Honestly, I know Light Yagami was a horrible person that killed a lot of people, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's pretty privileged. Like, no gay shit. Like, maybe he's pretty privileged. Like, if he was probably chopped, I most likely wouldn't like him. Like Voldemort or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna throw Light Yagami in here. And just because I love Death Note a lot. But thank you all so much for making it all the way to the end of this video and coming down this rabbit hole with me. I appreciate y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next video.